As far as Naseer Bhai is concerned, I think he's gone very old and cynical, and I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I think Naseeruddin Shah needs some help. There are certain people who don't want India to succeed, and these are the same people who say Burhan Wani was a very nice person, the terrorist of Kashmir. These are the same people who used to invite Yasin Malik to their offices. These are the same people who would give awards to terrorists like Yasin Malik. These are the same people who would force Supreme Court to open their doors midnight for Yaqub Menon. These are the same people who said don't hang Kasab, बेचारा young बच्चा था, गलती हो गई कसाब से, उसने कुछ हजार लोगों की तो मारा है. Since this film we are doing solo, there is no studio, nobody. Only Pallavi and I, we are involved. It's our money, our decision. Everything is us. Nothing else is done by anyone else. So if it doesn't recover its money, we are paupers, we are bankrupt.
Hello and welcome to News 18 Showsha. Today we have with us the National Award filmmaker Vivek Agnihotri, who's coming up with his new film, The Vaccine War. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
So first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on winning the National Award for the Kashmir Files. I just want you to take you back to that moment, and what was it when you came to know, because you've always mentioned in your interviews that the only award that matters to you is the National Award.
True.
So when it was announced, what was the whole environment around you?
I don't know. I was in Chicago. I was sleeping because it was very, very early morning there. I don't know, 4 or 5. And I woke up because my phone was ringing a lot. So I got up to pick up calls, and that's how I got to know that we have won these awards. So obviously, I would be lying if I say it doesn't make you happy, it doesn't make you good. And I really genuinely feel good and satisfied for Kashmiri Pandit community. Because first 32 years, nobody cared about them. After the film came, because of the political reasons, lot of people who are the beneficiaries of terrorism industry, or people who are genocide desires, or people who genuinely want Kashmir to remain in conflict, and people who are supporters of Islamist movement in Kashmir, those people started saying that nothing like this happened ever. And that when you say something, if there is a tragedy in your house and I say no, you are lying. If you say I have lost my child and somebody says you are lying, how would you feel?
Right.
And that's how the community used to feel. And with the award, I think they felt good, and it validates their pain. It endorses their complaint. So I feel very good about them. Also, when a film which has zero tolerance for terrorism wins a national award, it is also a very strong message to people like me who love humanity and peace.
Right.
So I'm sure there are many, many people like me. Actually, honestly speaking, forget the political side of it, but if you ask a common man, the film was about humanity. But it shows you what happens when humanity is absent. In Kashmir, humanity was absent, barbarianism took over, terrorism took over, and that's why Kashmir became Kashmir.
Right.
But when the humanity is there, we can stop any place to become Kashmir.
Right. Sir, does it also validate you as a filmmaker, considering there were a lot of fingers being pointed out?
That I'm not a filmmaker.
No, about the film. It's lopsided. It's taking some sides. When a film like this wins a national award, various renowned people, international people, including a person like Mr. Naseeruddin Shah, who also mentioned about it. Does winning a national award then validate you as a filmmaker, that this is something that I want to make and this is what I made?
No, if I wanted to make it, that's why I made it. I didn't make it because of national award, and it's not that after winning the national award I'll be able to, or I'll be more empowered to make these kind of films. I'll still keep making what I have to make.
Yeah.
And it's not that after national award these crazy people will stop criticizing anything which has in the interest of the country. I mean, these are crazy people. I mean, you imagine from a state, some 500,000 people have been displaced and killed and murdered and raped, and they say ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं था, झूठ है, ये propaganda है. ऐसे crazy लोगों से कौन बात करे? यानी how बॉम्बे में मैं था जब नया आया था, there were 11 bomb blasts, right? in Bombay 93 की बात है मेरे ख्याल से. I had just shifted, तो मैं आया ही था and I was recording somewhere, मेरे सामने ही इतने सारे बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हुए थे. लेकिन आज मैं पलट के बोल दूं ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं था. If somebody makes a movie on that, तो मैं कहूँ नहीं ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं हुआ था, ये तो प्रोपेगेंडा है, ये झूठ है. तो am I crazy or the person who's making it is crazy? I think all these names you took, they are crazy people. As far as Naseer bhai is concerned, I think he's gone very old and cynical, and I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I think Naseeruddin Shah needs some help.
So do you also feel that there is some kind of agenda that is run whenever, see, when the vaccine war was also announced, a lot of people felt that Vivek is also coming up with another film which is again lopsided. There are talks which already happened even before watching the film. Do you see there is some kind of agenda that is being run?
Yeah, of course, that will always be there. There are certain people who don't want India to succeed, and these are the same people who say Burhan Wani was a very nice person, the terrorist of Kashmir. These are the same people who used to invite Yasin Malik to their offices. These are the same people who would give awards to terrorists like Yasin Malik. These are the same people who would force Supreme Court to open their doors midnight for Yaqub Menon. These are the same people who said don't hang Kasab, बेचारा young बच्चा था, गलती हो गई कसाब से, उसने कुछ हजार लोगों की तो मारा है. So these are the same people who say Pulwama didn't take place, Balakot नहीं हुआ, and these are the same people who wanted 40-50 crore people in India to die during COVID. They didn't want India to make vaccine and they were sabotaging it. These are the same people who are very happy saying that China has taken land from India, has attacked India. So ये लोग हमेशा भारत के अहित का सोचते हैं. They are always against India. So these people will say exactly what they have to say, and exactly the same people were criticizing Kashmir Files. Exactly the same people will call this film also names, and they will criticize this film also. So these are the enemies of, I say, a modern India, growing India, positive India. So I am part of the new growing positive modern India. So that's why they're against me also.
What I want to ask you is, then, we often see stories being made on true events or based on true events, but it is the promptness which we see. It might, an incident might happen and it takes around 10-15 years for a filmmaker to come and make it. While as when we talk about the vaccine war, it is being done within like 2 to 3 years.
2 years, yeah.
What prompted you to do it so quickly, and what went behind the research? Because it's not something like a small incident. It's a very vast incident where a lot of research, and when you say that it's a true story, you're actually also putting the names out of the real people. Take us to that.
We started working on this film before the release of the Kashmir Files.
Right.
But it wasn't meant to be my next film after Kashmir Files. I was making the Delhi Files.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I made this film was it is important for people to register now, as when COVID is fresh in your mind, to register, because you'll see this film in the context of COVID and you'll understand how difficult it was to make the vaccine, number one. My second reason was that after the Kashmir Files, it was very easy for me to make Kashmir Files Part 2. But then we said no. We should make something which is very difficult to make, very challenging to make, and which has absolutely no chance of succeeding at the box office. This film has everything against box office. The word vaccine, look at the casting, 90% people you have not seen before, no songs, nothing. 60% of the film people are wearing masks, you can't even know who's who. So it's not an easy film to make. But this is the reason I made it. Because even if this film works modestly, you can go back and say it's not necessary to make part 2s to make money. You can always make something new, something better, and you can still make money.
So do you agree then that the commercial success of this film is very important, considering, because, I think you mentioned in one of the interviews that whatever you earned during the Kashmir Files is something what you put in. So technically you are zero. That's what you meant in that interview, where you're just kind of on the bankrupt.
Yeah, if this doesn't work, then I will be in a very bad shape.
Right.
If it doesn't recover its money, I'll be in very bad shape. But that's why we have also made it very, very low budget, like Kashmir Files. We finished the film in about 12.5 crores, couple of more crores for travel and promotion, marketing, all these posters get printed and all that.
Yeah.
And since this film we are doing solo, there is no studio, nobody, only Pallavi and I, we are involved. It's our money, our decision, everything is us. Nothing else is done by anyone else. So if it doesn't recover its money, we are paupers, we are bankrupt. I mean, seriously, no kidding. But if it recovers its money and also makes marginally some money on top of that, it's not that you see, I have only 2-3 pants and 2-3 shirts which I wear in every function. Wherever I go, you can't see me in any other color or any other clothes. So we don't need anything for ourselves. It will go back to making another film. So we'll be able to make more stories like this.
Right.
This is why it's important for these kind of films to recover their money and give little extra to the producers.
Right.
You know, and Kashmir Files also, people think that all the money we have got. It's not true. There were 3 Z's, the main party in that, single largest party in that. There is Mr. Vivek Agnihotri, and we were just a small part of that. But still, whatever we got, we put into making a very, very risky film.
Right. You know, again, interestingly, a lot of questions were raised when you made the statement about, you know, putting the money out here in this film, you know, what you earned is out here. And at the same time, you had bought an apartment, you know, worth some crores. What do you have to say about that? Because, you know, one side, you know, you were mentioning about not having money.
Yeah, I have not been a pauper. I have never been poor. I am working for a long time. I have been a very successful advertising filmmaker.
Yeah.
I have been making commercial films. I am not a pauper that मैंने कोई apartment ले लिया तो कोई मैंने गुनाह कर दिया. An apartment कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि आपकी film successful हो गई और next day आप गए अपने बाजार से खरीद लिया.
Yeah.
We had taken this apartment even before Kashmir Files, and
Right.
our children have grown. We need bigger space. We wanted to take another space, so we bought that. अब उसका रजिस्ट्री यहाँ धीरे धीरे आप पैसे देते जाते हैं कई 2-3 साल में, और तब जाके आपका अपार्टमेंट मिलता है, तब आप ऑक्यूपेशन के लिए जाते हैं. दैट्स द टाइम यू रजिस्टर इट. तो रजिस्ट्रेशन, कुछ किस्मत ऐसी थी कि उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन कश्मीर फाइल्स के चंद ही दिनों बाद हो गया. और उस वक्त में ज्यादा फिल्में नहीं थी, मीडिया वाले दे जस्ट वांटेड टू कवर कश्मीर फाइल्स. वर्ड आना चाहिए बस उससे रिलेटेड कुछ भी. कश्मीर फाइल्स डायरेक्टर बाइज एन अपार्टमेंट. तो मैं आपको ये भी बता दूं, वो गलत छपा है. वो 17 करोड़ का अपार्टमेंट नहीं है, वो 2 अपार्टमेंट्स हैं.
Okay.
और उनकी टोटल कीमत डबल है उसकी जो लोगों ने किया. तो वो झूठ लिखा उन्हें, उससे भी ज्यादा, बहुत ज्यादा महंगा है. तो मैं कोई गरीब आदमी झुग्गी में नहीं रहता. मैं कोई गरीब नहीं हूं मैं. राइट. आई हैव हैड अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल करियर. आई लिव सिंपली बिकॉज आई बिलीव इन सिंप्लिसिटी, एंड आई लिव अ वेरी स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ. मेरी कोई जरूरत नहीं. इसलिए लोगों को ऐसा लगता है ये तो गरीब की तरह घूमता है तो शायद गरीब है, इसने चोरी करके कुछ खरीद लिया. ऐसा नहीं है. We do things. My wife is an actor for 40 years.
Yeah.
I've been working for last 35 years non-stop. Yeah. So,
yeah. Lastly, I'd like to ask anything about Delhi Files that you can talk about, and would we also
see Delhi Files? I'll talk at an appropriate time, but it's a very, very important film. Everybody knows that it's a very, very hard-hitting, truthful film. But we'll talk about Delhi Files later. Right now, we'll talk about the vaccine war, and this film, I think it's a very, very important film from Indian cinema point of view. Anybody who's interested in cinema, even 1%, is a very important film. I think Rocketry was a very important film that opened doors. After this will open doors, and we'll be able to celebrate the real superheroes of our country, and we will be able to make films on science. I would like somebody to make a film on maritime, you know, the ocean sciences, you know. Yeah. Why not? Inside the sea. It's so much work India does, amazing, great work we do. So only when we do these kind of things, we will be able to create a stronger nation.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Hello, this is Vivek Agnihotri, and you are watching me on News 18, Showsha.